In our world, we often categorize people as good or bad based on their actions, behaviors, and decisions. But what if this duality is just an illusion? Swami Mukundananda, a prominent spiritual teacher, draws upon the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita to explain why no person is inherently good or bad. Instead, it is our perception and attachment to certain values that paint this dichotomy. Part 1. The illusion of duality. The Bhagavad Gita teaches us that life operates beyond the dualities of good and bad. This principle is rooted in the idea that everything in the universe is interconnected and that we are all part of the same divine consciousness. Swami Mukundananda often reminds us that our perception of right and wrong is influenced by our upbringing, society, and culture, but is not an absolute truth. What appears good to one person may seem harmful to another. It's all about perspective. But does this mean we stop differentiating between moral and immoral actions? Not quite. The Gita encourages us to look deeper, beyond the surface of actions, and into the heart of intentions. Part 2. Karma and its role in human actions. Karma, one of the core teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, plays a central role in our understanding of human behavior. According to the Gita, every action is driven by past karma, a result of previous lives, decisions, and circumstances. Swami Mukundananda explains that what we consider a bad person might simply be a soul struggling with the consequences of negative past karma. The key point is to not judge someone solely by their actions at one moment in time. A person who has committed a wrong deed may not be inherently bad, but could be under the influence of past karmic debt. The same applies to someone we consider good. What matters most is how one chooses to act in the present and the intentions that drive their decisions. Part 3. The Gunas and human nature. Another powerful concept that Swami Mukundananda emphasizes is the idea of the Gunas, three qualities that govern human nature: sattva, goodness; rajas, passion; and tamas, ignorance. Every person is a mix of these three gunas, and our actions are influenced by which quality is dominant at a given moment. Someone acting out of tamas may display laziness, ignorance, or harmful behavior, but this doesn't make them inherently bad. They are simply under the influence of a particular guna. Similarly, those exhibiting sattva might be calm, balanced, and virtuous, but it doesn't make them permanently good. The Bhagavad Gita reminds us that these gunas are constantly shifting, and our goal should be to rise above these influences and act from a place of wisdom and self-awareness. Part 4. Seeing the divine in all beings. To truly understand the essence of Swami Mukundananda's teaching, we must adopt the perspective of seeing the divine in all beings. The Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 5, verse 18, beautifully illustrates that a wise person sees no difference between a learned scholar and a humble animal. This verse doesn't mean we should ignore moral responsibility, but rather see beyond superficial labels and recognize the same divine spirit in everyone. When we move past labeling others as good or bad, we start to appreciate the oneness of humanity. Swami Mukundananda suggests that by elevating our consciousness, we can transform our relationships, interactions, and even our own internal judgments. We begin to cultivate compassion for those who falter and admiration for those who strive for goodness, all while maintaining an awareness of the bigger spiritual picture. Part 5. How to apply this in daily life. So how can we apply these teachings in our daily life? Swami Mukundananda encourages us to cultivate the habit of non-judgment and practice compassion. When you encounter someone whose actions don't align with your values, instead of reacting with anger or frustration, take a step back. Ask yourself, what guna is influencing this person's behavior? What karmic patterns might they be working through? This doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior, but approaching it with a sense of understanding. Equally important is self-reflection. We must continually observe our own actions, ensuring that we are not falling into the trap of labeling ourselves as good or bad. Rather, we should focus on aligning our actions with our higher purpose and growing beyond the influence of the Gunas. In the end, Swami Mukundananda's teachings remind us of the profound truth found in the Bhagavad Gita, that there are no good or bad people in the world, only souls on different journeys, guided by their karmas and gunas. By adopting this perspective, we can live with greater compassion, wisdom, and inner peace.